getting answers. From Sacramento's most watched late news, this is the CBS 13 News at 10. It was a murder that rocked Fairfield.
He was like an older brother to me.
A 22-year-old city councilman gunned down. This woman helped solve the case.
Like I told him, the mother wants to know who did this.
2 men convicted.
I don't know what it would be like not knowing who killed my child.
The governor offered a reward. Call Kurtis asks why it hasn't been paid out.
The Matt Garcia case is still fresh in the minds of the people of Fairfield. A young man wise beyond his years, murdered.
One woman risked her life to help solve the case. 7 years later, Kurtis Ming looks into what happened to this $50,000 reward.
My family here.
Election night 2007.
And I'm so very blessed to move Fairfield in the right direction. Yeah.
21-year-old Matt Garcia just won a seat on the Fairfield City Council, the youngest city council member ever in Fairfield history.
Youth and crime is the main focus in Fairfield.
Running on a platform of stopping youth violence. Matt's seen here a few months later talking to kids about a murder that just happened in Fairfield.
Hit this town real hard. It was a young man who had a lot of dreams, a lot of goals.
Striking words. He could have been telling his own story. Just 7 months later, Matt Garcia himself would be shot dead.
And Matt Garcia was struck once in the back of the head.
A role model for Fairfield's kids gone.
He was like an older brother to me.
It was all about a change and look, it happened.
The case grabbed the attention of Joyce Williams, who knew what Matt's family was going through.
My son been murdered.
In 1985, her own 19-year-old son, John Gilbert, was gunned down outside a nightclub in Richmond. No one was ever convicted.
I feel bad for the mothers that are losing their children.
But then something happened nobody would expect. Joyce's own handyman would come to her with a shocking confession.
It was just eating him up.
She says Gene Combs told her he was in the getaway car the night Matt Garcia was shot, and she convinced him to turn himself in, driving him to the police station.
Like I told him, the mother wants to know who did this.
Juries convicted both Combs and gunman Henry Don Williams for Matt's murder. Prosecutors say it was a case of mistaken identity over a $50 drug debt.
I don't know what it would be like not knowing who killed my child.
Matt's mom, Teresa Cortamash, is forever grateful to Joyce.
She understood the depth of what that meant to know who killed your kid.
She's also thankful the city of Fairfield, Solano County, and the governor's office each offered rewards to help solve the case. The city and county rewarded Joyce and 4 others, but never paid out the $50,000 governor's reward.
I don't know why they're holding on to it.
The governor's office tells us it's happy to pay out the reward money, but under state law, they can't without recommendation letters from both the district attorney and the chief enforcement officer in the case. But we've learned neither the then DA nor the then police chief ever wrote those letters before they left their positions.
To me, that's not acceptable.
Lynn Brown of Crime Alert says it is dangerous if the system doesn't pay out rewards to people like Joyce who risk their lives to step forward.
And it's really a thank you for keeping the public safer, for helping someone get the justice they deserve.
The governor's office told us the current police chief and DA can still write those letters.
I'm Krishna Abrams, and I'm running for Solano County District Attorney.
After calling current DA Krishna Abrams, seen here in a 2014 campaign ad, she agreed to sit down with Joyce. We were outside after that meeting.
Feel like I'm getting somewhere.
Then finally, the DA's office wrote this letter to the governor, confirming Joyce was helpful in the arrest of Gene Combs. And after that, the current Fairfield Police Chief, Joe Alio, wrote a similar letter. But oddly, each of those letters stopped short of recommending Joyce, or anybody else for that matter, receive any part of the $50,000 governor's reward. And the governor's office tells us, without those recommendations, the state can't pay out the money.
Matt was a leader.
Absolutely.
What do you think he would think about the fact that this reward money still hasn't been paid out?
he would be upset, and he would keep going to find out what's going on, just like Joyce is doing.
We struggled to get the DA or the police chief to explain why they wouldn't recommend the reward, although the DA told us her letter was factual. But then last month, Chief Alio revised his letter, this time recommending Joyce and 4 others collect the governor's reward. But that was only half the battle. The governor's office still needed a letter from the DA's office. We reached out to the Solano County DA 33 different times over the span of 5 months before we showed up here to the office. DA Krishna Abrams found out we were here, and she just called me telling me she will write that recommendation. It seemed fitting to invite Joyce to the Matt Garcia Career and College Academy in Fairfield to share the news.
So with the 2 letters, the reward money is going to be paid out.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Call Kurtis. I feel good about it. I'm very good about it.
Matt's mom never had the chance to thank Joyce.
She's a wonderful woman.
And to this day, Joyce says she still thinks of Matt's mom.
Would you like to meet her?
Of course.
What she doesn't know, we have Matt's mom waiting in the hallway.
Hi, Teresa. Can I give you a hug? How are you?
A long embrace for 2 moms.
Oh, boy.
Now part of a club no mother wants to join, knowing what it's like to lose a child.
Last month was 30 years that my son was murdered, but it never heals. Never. And I felt so bad for you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you did.
You're welcome. It was just the right thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Well, Joyce is going to get $12,500 of the $50,000 reward. The checks to her and the other 4 are expected to go out next week. By the way, in our story, we showed you a short interview with a teen upset right after Matt died.
It was all about a change and make it happen.
He is Jesse Amaya. He was about 16 years old at the time of this interview, and we learned 4 years later he was shot dead while walking down a street in Fairfield. Oh, violence among young people continues in Fairfield, but Matt's family is not giving up, still carrying out his mission with the Matt Garcia Foundation and the Career and College Academy you saw in the story, both aimed at supporting Fairfield's kids and ending youth violence.
Wow, really something. So do we know how the other 4 helped in this case?
Not exactly. We asked the DA's office and the police department, but both said that they were going to protect that information.
I mean, it was infuriating to watch these bureaucrats point fingers at each other. Here, we'll give you $50,000. No, you're not going to get it. I mean, come on. Really.
It's there for people to come forward.
And how many awards do you know has the governor given out in these cases?
You know, they started this program in the late 60s. The governor could offer these rewards. We're hearing somewhere between 290 and 300 rewards have been offered. To date, with this one, 26 have been paid out. Now, that's not to say that all cases have been solved or that tips solve those cases, but to date, 26 of the 295 have been paid
Great
out.
Piece.
Thank
Very,
you.
very strong story.
All right, if you have something for us to investigate, let us know about it. You can go to our website, cbs13.com/callCurtis, and fill out our form.